are Mo and Mom.
You're too loud.
Sorry.
Hi everyone.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for joining us for hopefully another Mo and Mom. And we do ASMR style movie reviews. Today we're going to do one of
My favorites.
Yes.
It took me forever to get her to watch. I kept telling her, you have to see this movie. It was so good. And when she saw it, she said, oh, yes, this is now one of my top 20. And we are going to review it.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog
That's
Millionaire.
Right. And
good movie.
it does prove that after she goes after me for a few years, that the movie definitely is worth watching.
But isn't that way with all your kids who it takes years to beat things through their heads?
Well, this is another love conquers all premise, I would say. Not maybe a new aspect, but definitely a different way of looking at it than some of the other love conquers all.
Yes, indeed. And this
premise.
was a great movie out of India that was not Bollywood, which I love Bollywood, but this was a very realistic look at more of the inner city of what India is, which all of our countries have inner city areas,
Right.
which deal with, which are more difficult, I think, in many respects than some of our other areas.
And I think that's why they call it Slumdog Millionaire, is because he is more from what we refer to in slang as the slums of inner city.
Now, what is The Millionaire? What is the name of that game show?
So our game show is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is what he ends up going on to.
Millionaire.
I believe worldwide it is, I have to look at it. It's Crorepati.
Crorepati.
So it'd be Slumdog Crorepati in worldwide, but you can look up either and be able to find this movie. But it is absolutely a fascinating movie that shows the beautiful and the realistic side, I think, of I love
This aspect of India.
the way that the normal, people dress. It's beautiful.
Well, you
it's
gotta
absolutely beautiful.
love the Indian culture.
That's exactly
It's
right.
gorgeous.
And the food and all sorts of wonderful things. Anyways, so it starts out with our main character.
A bit of a shot.
Listen to the thunder up there.
It's so good.
We need the rain so badly, so we're gonna keep recording, even though it's gonna keep booming because we don't have any other option. But Jamil, who is our main character,
Our
is
hero.
being tortured right off the bat.
In the police station, by all means, which is kind of shocking that the police would be doing this, even though we've all dealt with corrupt areas in police departments. I think every country has dealt with that as well.
We come to learn that he is
He's on our show.
Mhm.
He is trying to become a millionaire, and he has been so good at answering questions, they have decided he must be cheating because he's gotten so much further. And they know that he has no real formal education, and that he grew up on the streets. So when he is forced to explain how he knew the answer to these particular questions, suddenly it takes us back to his childhood.
That's right.
And we get to see how he learned how to answer the question in his future.
So we begin with him as a small boy. I believe that they are waiting for one of the actors, a world-famous actor.
One
they
of
all
his
love.
heroes.
That's it, to show up so he can get a signature.
He has a photograph.
He's hoping to get his signature, and the brother ends up, his older brother, who does play a very good part and bad part in this movie as well. I believe it's his brother locks him into the outhouse.
As
the
punishment,
toilet.
because they are making money, they've learned at a very young age how to make any kind of extra money they can to help out their mother. We never see a father in this, so we just assume father's not in the picture. But mom is obviously very beautiful and very loving.
Mhm.
But because our little Jamil is having a hard time in the outhouse, he ends up not getting out quick enough and costing the brother money who has a customer there. So as punishment, Big Brother locks him in right as the movie star shows up.
So he has a decision to either stay locked in there or to the exit.
And the only way out is through the rabbit hole.
So he jumps pretty much into the poo, into the
He
outhouse
jumps down
bottom.
in.
And he's
And
holding
bless
the
his heart.
photo up above his head so the photo
Save
stays.
the photo.
So he comes running down, and of course nobody wants to stop him or touch him.
Clear a path for this
Yes, he
smelly
is.
little poo-covered boy.
Yes.
And fortunately, I was so pleased the movie star did agree to sign his
I think it
autograph.
spoke highly of him that they still, nobody else
That's why
wanted to
he
touch him,
was
but he still got that autograph. Who, his older brother ended up selling it later
sold
on.
it, took it away from him and
Which was
sold it.
pretty mean. He does some mean things to poor Jamil. So our next question was what the
God,
that was, yeah, what was the god hold Rama?
Rama,
What
was he holding in
and-
his hand? And he made the comment at that point. Now he's back in the police station trying to explain how he knew the answer to what the god was holding. And he made the comment, every day I wish I never knew the answer to this question. And we flash back to when we have Mom is in a community pool washing clothes and the kids are playing and it's a normal, typical day there. And suddenly all these men come running across the train tracks with weapons and
they look up and all these guys, I mean, they're running up to smash people over the heads.
they're
going,
yelling, kill the Muslims.
Muslims.
Just an attack
So
from nowhere.
They're Muslim haters. And they end up clonking Mom over the head, who goes face first into the water.
And they're setting people on fire and setting the houses on fire, and it's bedlam, and the children, people are screaming and running, and at one point somebody runs up to the police that are sitting there playing cards, and the police just look up and do nothing, which we've all dealt with that too. But
Well, they run into Latika as a young girl who is our love interest for Jamil. And
Well, she
they
ends
gotta
up-
rescue her from the Muslims.
we find out Mom drowned in the pool, so they're now all orphans, and Latika ends up becoming an orphan as well. We assume she's in the same situation. And Jamil wants Lotta to come with both of them, and initially the big brother says no. There's not enough food to go around for those two, much less to take on a young girl. But Jamil ends up having his way, even though he's a small child. So is she.
And they end up on, they're out in the trash. And there's a huge mountains and mountains of trash, and they're shifting through it, trying to find anything of value, and they're living out there. And that's when we have our orphanage show up with cold Coca-Colas and entice them to...
We're going to take care of you. All your worries are over with. We're going to be your parents now. Come with us.
We find out very quickly that they're not as nice
They're
as they seem to entice
terrible
these
people.
boys
Terrible people.
to come live with them. They end up mutilating and blinding and whatever they can.
It was a
to
terrible
those
scene.
boys.
It was so awful.
It helps them raise more money. If they look bad, if they're blinded, they end up getting more money
And
because they actually look the
They were
part.
making them all sing to see who had the best singing voice.
That's right.
To choose who got blinded. But, it was a terrible situation. But we think, and they've also made Big Brother, because they find out Big Brother is angry and aggressive even as a small boy. And they decide that they're going to make him their dog. So they get him to start bringing the children up and go get his little brother. It's his turn now to be blinded. And that's when he very quickly thinks on his feet, as they've come to do. You have to learn how to do that very fast on the streets. And he saves his little brother and Latika.
Yes. Yes. They end up escaping several times throughout this, getting into bad situations. To move the story along, they ask him several different questions that flash back to his growing up, and eventually Latika grows up to be a very beautiful girl who is, of course, wanted by many different people and ends up with kind of the mafia boss.
Yeah.
And
As does Big Brother.
and our Jamil keeps having to find where she is being located.
Keeps looking for her.
And
because
eventually...
He will not give up on her. I think he fell in love with her as a small child, and he carried that love with him all the way through to adulthood.
And
so to fast forward things, he finally does find her. She is sort of a love captive of our head mafia boss, and he shows up with his street smarts, and they're going, "What are you doing here, boy?" And I think he said, I'm a chauffeur or something. And he says, "We don't need a chauffeur.
we need a cook.
We need a cook." And he goes, "Oh, I'm your cook." But that's how he gains entry into the house.
Finds her again.
And
He's
when
able
he
to find her.
the first time he is able to see her after many, many years, what is playing in the background? But Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Millionaire.
Millionaire.
So he does. He finds out that they watched that, and he loses her again. So he figures out, I guess, as the watcher, we find out very quickly that he does not want to become a millionaire. He's just interested in finding Latika.
And he knows she watches that show
as well. So
his-
he ends up getting on the show and asking all these questions, and it kind of has a brilliant way of bringing everything around to the very end, where the older brother, who really has been quite a jerk to him throughout his entire life, does very heroically save.
I don't want to give anything away. But there was one point where I really hated the older brother with Latika.
Oh gosh, there's several points where you end up. I couldn't imagine having an older brother that would do something like that. But
I could.
Apparently, there are some really bad relationships out there with family that, thank goodness, I never had to experience. But our poor Jamil did with his older brother, who does have one final heroic act at the end and helped save our Latika, and they end up having a happily ever after.
Well, basically, he sacrifices himself to help Latika escape.
Yeah.
And they do find each other. And our wonderful movie ends with a wonderful tribute to
our Bollywood
style. Yay!
Very
they have to dance at
typical
the end.
Bollywood style, so it's fun.
But it's just a heartfelt, wonderful movie that is it's shocking, it's surprising, it
won several awards.
And it deserved,
beautifully done.
Deserved all these awards. So if you have not seen it, please do put that on your must-watch list.
Exactly.
I don't know that I would recommend it for children by any means. I would say that'd be for teenagers and up. Some things were too shocking, even for me. I would not want a child to watch that.
That was terrible. That was terrible. But it had its laughs. It had its every emotion. It had a very, very good, well-rounded movie.
Beautifully directed, great scenery. It was just fabulous movie, which is why it's in one of our top 20. And I'm so glad I finally got you to watch it.
Glad you finally kept pushing, which told me it was a very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
indeed.
Anyways, that's our movie of Slumdog. I hope you enjoyed it. Not one of the more funny movies to talk about, but it definitely was worth watching, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. Let us know what you think.
Yes, please do.
And if you do enjoy what we do, please follow and support us. If not, that's okay too. We really like what we do, and we're going to keep doing it. So
we've been doing it for all our whole lives, basically, but generally we're just on the phone doing this.
Not in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So anyways.
But we thought y'all might like to join.
That's right.
But thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
We'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Okay.
Oh, dear.
How was that?
I don't know. I think I messed it up.
No, I don't care. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had too much fun.
I hope people like it.
They won't.
We'll find out.
Okay. I love you.
I love you.